Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to your sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And basically I had a dream. I just woke up. It just happened right now. So, and I never have dreams. I mean, ever, never, ever, ever. Right? That I remember. Because, you know, I always be kind of slightly disappointed brothers have dreams and things, and I never have dreams, but I finally got one. The Lord gave me a dream, and you know it's pretty heavy too. So basically I was somewhere like a downtown area, or like a you know uh, like a place where but it felt like there was like a not like the like a parade was going on, but it looked like it happened already. And you know how I don't know where you, if depending on where you're from, the Air Force, they do these little flying shows, right? They'll use the military planes and do these little flying shows. So and it felt like you know it felt like a almost like a pretty good day, because it was kind of weird. I had it was like my mom and my stepdad, who she's not even married with anymore. But it almost felt like that time, like she was married with him like in like 90, 94, 95 time. And back then things had a little bit of mirth still to it. So it almost felt like a mirthful day, like like a good and calm day. And you could see the planes doing like these little tricks. But then there was one plane, they were doing like, the air show, right? But one plane would go behind these clouds, and a light was shooting down. And when the light was shooting down, it was shooting down and then like moving, going back and forth. And then that plane would fly out from the cloud. Like you couldn't see the plane behind the cloud. You could just see the light coming down from behind the cloud, right? And the light would come down and then move. And then I looked over, I looked at my stepdad, like, what's that? You know? And we were all looking at like, damn, what is that? Right? And then it's almost like some time went on. We were just walking up and down the street, whatever, like getting, like little festive foods or something. I don't know what it was, but like we were just going up and down the street, right? And but you could see like on my right, I look over, you could still see the air show, like in the air. You could see the planes flying, and that plane that was behind the cloud would come out, do some stuff over the air show, like it's flying over the air show still, like like a normal day, like everything was super normal. And then as it's almost like some time went by, like we're out there just chilling, talking, like we're not paying no attention. Hey, there's an air show going on. Every now and then we'll look up and see the planes do a couple little tricks and things, and like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we were just like talking, like it was weird because you know around that time I was what, 14 years old or so. So I haven't been that age like in forever, right? But it felt like that time, like like back when I was young, like 14, 13 years old or something like that. Like it felt, like that good, almost like we were just chilling, like family time or whatever. Everything was like good. Everything's all peaceful. And then some other people walked by, and that plane that went by and went behind the cloud, it did it again, flew by, went behind the cloud, and some light was being shot down. Someone else walked by and like, man, what is that? What is that that's coming down behind that? And so I looked over again and seen the light coming down, and that plane is behind the cloud. You can't see the plane. You could just see the light, like a thick beam of light coming down and moving, going like back and forth through the cloud. But at this point, the air show has been going on, so I'm thinking it got to be part of the show, right? It's part of the show. And so after this person go, man, what is that? So we look over and see it again, but this time, of course, we seen it earlier, so we didn't pay no attention. So we just basically went back to like talking or whatever was happening, But like we just went back to doing what we was doing or something. And then I looked over, that plane came out back again from shooting that light or whatever was happening behind the cloud. And then it came out again, flew over the little airfield, and after it flew over the airfield, it spun back around and it shot up like a some type of missile out over the airfield right where the people was at, and it boom, and we were like, oh shit, and you can see the thing blow up, and there was a bunch of people over there. So at that point, like when those little air shows, people are they're down in there, they're kind of what do you call it, can you know together, compact together. And they basically, they didn't survive. Boom, the thing blew up. So we're like, oh shit. So we take off running. No, wait, we didn't take off running yet. We were looking, and then we like, man, we gotta get the freak up out of here. And then, right as we were trying to run to get out of there, these like police troops or military men were running out, grabbing people at the same time. So we were running, and it was like weird. Um, my little sister is she and not a little sister. She's pretty big, but in this thing, it was almost like when we were younger. Because I remember when we were younger, I always used to have to go to school, and after school, I would have to pick her up from her daycare, and it was almost like that moment, like when I used to have to go pick her up, and it was like I turned, picked her up, and grabbed her, and then took off running. You know, try not to get, blown up or grabbed up by these troops. And these troops came out of everywhere, front, back, side. They were coming from everywhere. And we just took off running. And I mean, that's pretty much it, you know. And so I started thinking about it, So I woke up and I'm like, this has to mean something, or you know what I mean, and the only thing I could think of is that plane when it was going behind that cloud, it was shooting that Blu-ray, basically what they did to Lahaina, right? So they were actually destroying some other place while they're doing this air show over here, where it looks like everything is normal, and then they came back, blew it up, right? And then just all of a sudden, straight hell and chaos pursued after that, right? You know, it was crazy. So this is the day of the Lord, right? It's First Thessalonians 5, and I'm gonna start at 1. The day of the Lord, but of the time and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, right? And then I pulled up the amplified version alongside of it. It says, now as to the times and dates, brethren, right? See, in the time and dates of what time are we in, right? Right? We're in that time of great uh, deception, Jacob's trouble, calamity, right? That's the time that we're living. That's the dates and the time that we're at, right? The Lord in what's it? I believe it's Second Ezra chapter 9. It says, "Measure the time diligently," right? So this is definitely the time, right? And that's pretty heavy because I don't have dreams. I can't even tell you when the last time I had a dream before this. Like, so this is pretty heavy. So I came right out here right away and did it. So, brethren and sisters, you have no need for anything to be written to you, for yourselves know perfectly well that the day of the return of the Lord is coming just as a thief comes unexpectedly and suddenly in the night, right? And a lot of you people are in night, gross darkness, right? It's not necessarily meaning it's going to be night, right? Because was it Psalms 91 said the arrow that flieth by noon, right? So in noonday, right? And that was almost like what that was. It was like a day, like a regular day. The sun was out, like a noonday, like you know what I mean. Everything was pretty normal. Felt like I said, it looked like it had been a parade. Like there's people out there, people going back and forth, walking back and forth. Just everybody was tripping out about the light that was coming behind the cloud when that plane flew behind the cloud. Like I said, the only thing I can think of is that thing was destroying another city somewhere else, shooting down that beam. That concentrated fire that they have on that plane that they have, right? and then later on dropping that bomb, which basically uh, enacts a hostile situation, right? Which makes a what do you call it? Makes it basically makes it a crisis, so that way they can come in with their troops, right? That way they can have martial law, right? Order out of chaos, right? Right? And a lot of you people are in gross darkness, right? So it says while while they say they are saying peace and safety, right? Seeing that day was like a day like that, man. In my dream, it was like a day. It was like peace and safety, the Air Force, and people they feel safe out of that type of thing because they go, dang, look at the skills of our freaking pilots. No one bet not ever think to do anything in America, but the whole thing is anytime America has been struck, it's mostly been their own. It's been self inflicted, right? You know, right? These are people who set up to make these you know crisis events, you know, stage events to happen, and then in the history books, as far as you know, it is said it was an actual thing, right? Right until till the ICBM missiles be shot over here, right? But these are things that they've done, right? Self inflicted, you know the the thing that happened with the Twin Towers. People, they believe that it's one of those things, Pearl Harbor was one of those things, right? Those things, so that it ensued to go to war, right? And money is in war, right? Great money is in war, right? And you got to think of how young a country America is, which is really not a country; it's a corporation. Which all these countries are corporations now at this point, and not countries. But America alone sold out way before these other countries. Um, but nevertheless, for the simple, we'll just say country, and as a country, it's very young, and it's it don't know peace. It very rarely had not been at war, and even when it wasn't at war anywhere else, they had a war on drugs, right? you know, a war on illegal aliens, a war on this, a war on that. So these are a warlike people, the Edomites, man, right? Everything's war, right? Race wars. Those are things that's gonna ensue, come again, but on a higher level. You ain't gonna be able to just hide behind your racism anymore. And while they are saying what peace and safety, all is well, and and see secure, Salakia, and secure, when all is well and secure, then in a moment, unforeseen destruction, right, will come upon them suddenly. See? And that's what that was, man. It was like an unforeseen destruction, man. It's your own military. They're doing these little air show and carrying on, and they do these things all the time. So you're not foreseeing anything to happen like that, right? Yeah, should come upon, yeah. In the moment, unforeseen destruction will come upon them suddenly, like labor pains. Ooh, there it is. Like labor pains on a woman with child, right? And that's ultimately what we're coming into the time, right? All these different little events and things happening are technically labor pains, right? With Amalek being despised amongst the heathen, right? Labor pain, right? Jake's being shot all over again, right? It's starting to happen all over again, like the time of when Obama was in office. Jake's being shot, killed by the police, labor pain, right? It's gonna build up everything, right? You know, Putin with this Ukraine thing, labor pain. North Korea, South Korea is basically kind of beefing. North Korea said it will blow it off the map. Said it'll blow South Korea off the map if they keep flying their drones over North Korea. Labor pain, right? You even got these what do you call these camps? All of a sudden, right? Now they're teaching there's a hell, right? Labor pain. Now all of a sudden you're in a new covenant. Labor pain, right? These are all things that need to happen, right? As far as to bring forth that child being the elect, right? Starting with Yahweh Shai, right? King David and the 144,000, right? And the innumerable multitude of men, women, and children. That is that labor pains on a woman with child, and they will absolutely not escape. See, and that was like a situation like that, like especially when they dropped that bomb over the air base. You know, because people were watching that air show. None of them people were able to escape. Boom, and we're like, oh sh. And we're looking at and like, oh sh, we gotta run. Then you see everybody running, scrambling. You see people running. Then you see these troops come on with these little face shields and something in their hand, and they all run, man, and they're running out from every direction because went to run this way and they're coming this way, turned around, they were coming from that way. They were coming from all sides, just grabbing up people like they were just waiting for that moment to pounce, right? Yeah, that little dream was crazy. I was like, oh, so it's just, man, will come upon them suddenly, and they will absolutely not escape, for there will be no way to escape the judgment of the Lord, right? And that's pretty much what the Lord is saying right here, you know. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they will not escape, right? So the Lord just gets straight to the point, right? And that's, you know, ultimately, you know, my dream and pretty much what I wanted to share. with you brothers and you sisters, the household of faith, right? So I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, rule well and they do well. The elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to you Israelite foreigners. Her phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Aquathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Hey, and the Baba Ball, Kwam Yasharala. Hey, we got next.